I lied at the end of the last episode. I'm gonna keep doing voices because they entertain me. And I hope you get some enjoyment out of my horrible voice acting. You can put it on low and chuckle at yourself in the bastardization of multiple accents and phrasings, and just reading in general. It is now clear who discovered the body. You have no more room... no more reason to withhold your testimony, correct?
Very well, I'll tell you. But I doubt my testimony is worth hearing.
I wish you'd get off this guy, it's killing my throat.
Whether or not it's worth hearing is for me to decide. I will expose the... I'll expose the truth in my own hands. That is my sole duty.
I think you're a little off there, Edgeworth.
What do you mean?
We're not trying to expose the truth, we're trying to save Simon. Isn't our goal to help our clients? He's not our client. I mean, you're not a prosecutor right now, you're a defense attorney's assistant.
Well said there, Kay. Faith and Begorra, she's right on the money, Miles. The official task of the Edgeworth Law Office is to defend our clients. The old man who founded the firm truly valued the bonds he had with his clients. So if you're not willing to do the same, maybe you aren't cut out for this job. I don't want to fire you on the spot either, so have a heart, okay? Fine. In any case, it's important that we hear the testimony of the person who discovered the body. Starting with Mr. Sarwit. Tell me what happened when you found the body.
Sarwit's testimony. When I found the body.
I was in the workroom over there practicing my skills. By some chance, I got curious about the adjacent workroom and went up to the door. I peeked in through the small window of the door. There I saw him lying there, a man, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself letting out a scream.
If I may confirm one thing... You were in this room, right next to the one where the dead body was found.
Within the prison, we call it Workroom B.
And you were in there the whole time on the day of the murder?
Yes, after the 7 AM roll call, I remained inside the whole time. In this prison, we have roll call 3 times a day. At 7, noon, and at 9.
And they check the workrooms during those times, too?
Exactly.
I see. So during the 7 AM roll call, there was nothing amiss. At night, his body was not in the workroom yet.
Okay. So at 7 AM and to 9 PM. No. Body was not found during the 7 AM roll call. Noted. So it sounds like the murder occurred after 7 AM, huh? Doesn't that line up with what we already know? I'm pretty sure. We have an autopsy report, yeah? No? This guy? Nope. I thought we had an autopsy report. And that's right when the animal show started.
Correct. The other prisoners went to see the animal show.
Meaning anyone who did not see the show does not have an alibi? Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Sarwit?
Yes, that is certainly true. However, I merely discovered the body.
His testimony has a clear contradiction.
Does it?
I should be able to press him about that first.
Rebuttal. I mean, if he just left to go and check, wouldn't the guard need to do? Whatever, let's press him.
Hold it! Workroom honing his skills. By practicing, you mean, of course?
Yes, my grooming training, for I am a model prisoner.
I somehow doubt that.
Alright, nothing there. A chance. This is the one I'm curious on.
Hold it! You were curious about the adjacent room?
Precisely. I felt the need to look inside.
How did you feel that way?
Even if you ask me why, I did it just on a whim.
So you weren't concentrating on your training?
No, nothing of the sort. I am a modern prisoner. It's just that the other prisoners had left to see the animal show, which is why I was feeling somewhat lonely.
Yeah, that's like being stuck in a classroom after school's let out. That is sort of an empty feeling, actually.
Yes, that's right, and since I couldn't enter the other room, I peeked in through the small window on the door.
Alright, let's see. Let's check this door. No. Oh, he could have opened the door, actually, because he had animals with him. Covered in dirt, there's small bruises on his head. I was thinking maybe, like, he was going to say something about how he was covered by the tarp. That might be the tarp. No. No. Small window in the door. Press that.
The small window, so you couldn't get a clear look. Indeed, as you can see, there's a grill covering.
Sorry, I've been trying to avoid yawning.
There is a small grill covering the window. It does not offer any wide view at all.
Normally, the guards use it to check inside the rooms, right?
Precisely, you seem to be very well versed in this matter.
Well, I happen to know a thing or two about prisons, you know.
What does she mean by that? I'll have to find out the details later. In any case, I peeked into the room from the window. I tiptoed by the window.
So I'm moving, not lying, not... I saw him lying, not moving, dead.
You knew it was a man right away. It was clear, judging from his physique and the clothing.
Why was he wearing, like, his streets and not the uniform? Oh, right, he wasn't in prison, he was in the detention center. How did he wind up here? That's the question.
Even the fact that he was dead was plain as day.
You couldn't tell he was dead through that tiny window?
Well, it's not the first time I've seen a dead body.
What? What? So you mean the reason you're in here is because...
I'm ashamed to admit it, but it is as you say. However, this was my first time at seeing a body someone else had killed.
That doesn't make it better. I'd argue that makes it slightly worse. Yeah, there you go. He's the guy who did it in the first case of Phoenix Wright. Just spoiled that. Again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers for other games if you are curious, particularly the first Edgeworth game. I highly recommend it, of course, but the game seems intent to just spoil whatever it feels like.
I qualified in, quailed in flight and found myself letting out a scream.
Hold it!
Do you remember what the scream sounded like?
By the way, if you assume my voice is parody of any accent, you are racist, because I don't believe I ever mentioned that this was parody of any accent. Maybe he just sounds like this because he's a dink. Did you ever think of that? I think he does sound like this because he's a dink. I'm not trying to do any accent. If you hear an accent, it's your own fault. If you hear an accent you're offended by, it's your fault. If you hear an accent you don't give a rat's ass, then hey, welcome to the team.
Well, all I can say is that I shrieked at the top of my lungs.
Well, I guess this is clearly an accent, by the way. I'm not going to defend this one. Well, I guess that's what happened when you get scared.
Yes, it's just as you say. In any case, I let out a scream.
He's pretending to be an innocent bystander, but perhaps was just running around considering his situation and the place he's in. The contradiction should be quite obvious. I'll show him with evidence that proves it. Alright, so nothing was added. I can't do anything with the first statement. By some chance, I got curious about the adjacent workroom, so I went up to the door. What does the door say? Would it have sounded Norm? That could be it. Is there anything more concrete? Peeked in through the small window. Floor plans? Let me check. It doesn't. Okay, yeah. Well, this is weird, because given the way the camera was, that's not what the workroom looked like in relation to the door. It seemed longer and narrower, rather than... Yeah, the door is weird based on where it was in the actual game. It might be that, because if the body was found somewhere else, but in the workroom it's very clear you can see the body from the door. And I have two things I could present. This on, and not moving dead. Quailed in fright and found myself letting out a scream. Alright, it's one of those two. If it's not, I'm gonna be very annoyed. Alright, the door first. I think, actually, I'm leaning more towards the floor plan, because that I feel like that's a more... Objection! No, the music didn't stop. Well, failure. Guess I'll show the door instead. Is it going to relate to the he had animals and therefore could have opened the door anyways? But it still reacts to his bracelet. Yeah, or no, that's the wrong statement. Oh no, it is the right statement. No, fuck! Ah, did I present... I might have presented the door to this. Yeah... Fuck. I think I might have done that. Let me try... the floor. Did I? Let me try the door here. Just in case. Objection! Yeah, that's it. Okay. Glad I did that. Instead of just repeating my previous mistake there. Mr. Sarwit, please stop telling such feeble lies. You don't seem to understand your position.
In my position, I used to be a newspaper salesman, but then I took up pet groomer training.
Hold it!
What about the bracelet on your wrist? It proves that you are unmistakably a prisoner. As long as you wear that bracelet, you should not be able to move about as you please. As soon as you went to the door, the sensor would have sounded an alarm. I would have thought when he left. You know, the other worker.
Well, that is...
Peeking into the adjacent room is impossible. You couldn't even leave once you were in. Whee! Nice one, Miles. That was a real humdinger. I also defy anyone to argue with me that he's not Irish. Real humdinger, really? Does that mean Mr. Sarwit didn't see the body? I'm not so sure. Perhaps we should let the man explain himself to us.
Well, you see, that is, well... forgive me, it appears my previous explanation was lacking. I shall clearly explain how I was able to see the body.
Also, if you think it's the accent I think you might think it is, note how I'm emphasizing
clearly.
And not saying... I'm clearly emphasizing the L's and R's in his statement, so... That's my one shield, and fuck you if you still argue with me. It's my channel, I'll do what I want. Very well. Let us hear your revised testimony. When I found it.
There is a rather well-known technique among prisoners here. If the hand with the bracelet stays in the room, you can step out without sounding the alarm.
If the hand with the bracelet stays in the room... So what, you just had your hand in the door?
That's how I was able to peek at the adjacent room. The moment I realized that man was dead, I let out a scream.
So that means... He kept his arm inside the workroom B while I peeked into the adjacent room. I'd appreciate it
if you didn't mention this to anyone, especially the guards. Okay?
Yeah. I'm not gonna be that guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, he murdered and tried to frame Phoenix's friend, so he's clearly not a great dude, but at the same time, you know, they get so few niceties in prison, you might as well let him have one. Okay? Was that what he was trying to hide earlier? I was asking for more details about a few other things as well. Alright, press him on this, I guess.
There's another
well-known technique.
Hold it!
Tell me more about this technique.
Certainly. Here's how it works.
Well, nothing there. Okay.
Hold it!
All you gain by doing that is a small degree of freedom.
Naturally. But that is all that we have left to enjoy.
I'm shocked that you enjoy such a thing. Take what you get, man. Have you truly reflected on what you've done?
But of course, for I am a model prisoner.
Your definition of model is highly suspicious. Regardless, what was the technique that you used?
Yes,
that was the technique.
Yes, that is correct. I made sure no guards were around when I did it. That's how I was able to peek into the adjacent room.
Hold it!
Why would you do something so troublesome and potentially dangerous? And entirely pointless, really.
I heard a noise coming from the adjacent room. It seemed odd to me, as there should not have been anyone inside.
And you peeked into the adjacent workroom as soon as you heard the noise?
Yes, of course. I peeked in as soon as I could.
I see. Is there a problem with that statement? Peeked in as soon as he could. No. I don't see a problem. No, there doesn't seem to be a problem with that statement. Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Sarwit.
Certainly. I peeked inside the workroom.
When I realized the man was dead, I let out a scream. You remember what this man looked like in detail?
But of course, I am certain. He had blonde hair, and his throat was covered in blood.
Do you take me for a fool? That should be obvious.
I'm merely telling you everything as I saw it, just to be clear.
Well, he's right.
Don't defense attorneys love nitpicking over every little detail?
I detect a tinge of spite there. Perhaps he had an unpleasant experience with a defense attorney in the past. So he was able to peek into the adjacent room by keeping one arm inside the workroom. But was that really what he was trying to hide? I should ask him for a further explanation. I guess it is something. I should read it more carefully. Okay, that's that. Made sure there were no guards. That wasn't it. I guess press this one. I heard a noise. Seemed odd. So you peeked. I peeked in as soon as I could. Is there a problem? I guess so? So you walked into the adjacent room immediately after you heard the noise. If that were true, then you should have seen more than just a dead body. You should have seen the person who made the noise.
That is, well...
He looks really shaken. Mr. Sarwit, answer me. What did you really see? If you intend to remain silent, I will have no choice but to assume that you are complicit to the murder.
Oh, please forgive me. It's just that I couldn't even believe what I saw for myself. It may have been just a dream. I hesitate to even recall it.
Tell me what happened.
Very well. I will be frank with you. I saw a dog. It was a nightmarish scene. A large, black dog was biting into the neck of the victim.
What did you say?
It was a truly hellish scene. That dog killed him.
Oh. I think I'm gonna be sick. That's some grade A trauma right there. Yeah. Seeing a dog kill a man's probably not something you bounce back from.
I was chilled to my very core, and I let out a shriek.
A man-eating dog inside of this zoo of a prison?
Ugh.
Barks at me a lot.
That was everything I saw. Do you believe me now?
Yes, I do. I doubt one would be able to lie about something like that. Would you add that to your testimony?
Certainly. At the moment I realized that the man inside was dead, I let out a scream. To my horror, there was a black dog biting his neck.
Hold it!
A black dog was biting the victim's neck?
Yes, the blood came pouring out, and as a result, the dog's mouth became stained with it.
Ah, stop. You don't need to get to that detail.
At the time, was the victim...
Eek! Mr. Edgeworth, why'd you ask him that? Kay, why'd you hit Uncle Ray?
The man did not even flinch.
He must have been dead already.
But the blood continued to gush from his neck. He most likely had passed away already. His hands moved nary an inch.
Way too much detail. Are you doing this on purpose?
Certainly not. I'm just trying to give an accurate testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, shall I add to that statement?
If you would.
It was terrifying. A truly terrifying experience.
Most likely passed away already.
Hold it!
Whoops, I meant to check my organizer, but whatever. Actually, I can do that now. That was very vivid testimony. Very vivid indeed. Cause of death, penetrating wound in the neck, died instantly. Well, that's consistent. Penetrating wound, died instantly. Look saying he's already dead. Yeah, he died instantly. That definitely... excuse me, that definitely checks out. Sorry, checking my phone real quick. Anyways.
That is because I witnessed it up close, relatively speaking. I could feel the anguish he suffered in his death.
Mr. Edgeworth, I won't be able to sleep tonight. Really? How terrible. Oh, come on, it's all because of you that my mind is filled with scary thoughts.
I may even have nightmares myself. Even now I can still remember everything clearly.
What? The ring with the snowflake insignia glimmered with no purpose but to catch my eye.
Hold it!
What?
I was formerly a newspaper salesman. I had to quickly identify what the customer wanted based on appearance and attitude. In order to form a successful sales strategy, it is the most basic of the basics.
But you're dealing with a corpse, not a customer. Are you like that with everyone?
Yes, it has already become an ingrained habit of mine. It was an important point that could determine the success or the failure of a sale.
That's how you're able to easily recall such minor detail.
Precisely. Even the engraved insignia is crystal clear.
Is that really possible? What was the state the body was found in? I should review my evidence.
I have an urine eye. That much I can declare.
So Knightley was killed by a dog that was being kept in the prison? I find that hard to believe. I guess I present the cause of death? Because I guess a dog biting into your neck, even though it's got teeth, would barely count. Or, you know, there'd be, like, clear evidence that it was a dog. When I realized, I screamed, back over my neck. I guess this? Because penetrating wound in the neck could very clearly be dog teeth. I'm not going to be happy if this is it. Oh good, it's not. But then what the hell is it? Find out next time while I try to figure it out. I think we'll do that. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Tokenlad. Talk to you later. Sure to go share, see you around Ask Clowns. Check out my Patreon if you can. Every little bit helps.